Dead Art Studios paint and chat. Starting a new painting today, and I'm just going to show it you. Talk a little bit about what I want to do with it, and then I think I'll just paint. I've been thinking about the chat aspect of paint and chat, and in a minute, kind of just feel like there's too much chat going on in the world. All the things I think of, kind of like a bit complaining, like why is this like this? Why is everyone doing that? This is awful. And then kind of left stuck and a bit annoyed, I guess. And it's stressing me out. So what's the good? Like I just want to turn the volume down on everything. That's kind of how I'm feeling. And I'm like, well, but I still want to do paint and chat. So I will chat a little bit about this. But then we'll just do the paint because like, sometimes I feel like everyone's chatting and it's all a bit too much. And we need chat, we need discussion, but sometimes it's overwhelming. And if you just look at the world around you and watching it time as it passed by, you kind of realise that most things, for most people, are kind of all right, at least where we are. And so the best thing for me to do is just to paint. That's the positive thing I can bring to this video right now. So that's what I'm going to do. So on a birch panel here, I think it's 40 by 30 centimetres. And previously I coated it in a really thick coat of gesso and gloss medium, where I put tape around the sides and just poured it in there. And then I hated it and started pulling it off to try and save the panel. Well, it won't really come off at parts where it just totally glued down. I mean, with some work maybe. But I thought, well, this is an interesting little window. And this I always wanted on the top to have sort of fleshy colours, pinky fleshy colours. I'm thinking Francis Bacon style snarls and mouths. He was always interested in painting the mouth. And I don't know, I'm sort of thinking a lot about wartime paintings and things like that, like Francis Bacon was post-war, and like Picasso's Guernica seems to be relevant once again. And I was like, oh, I could talk about Picasso in paint and chat. But then I thought, well, you talk about Picasso. I mean, only like 5 people watch this, so it doesn't really matter. But talk about Picasso, then you've got to sort of talk about all the negative aspects of Picasso, who he was. You've got to put sort of caveats into what you're talking about, and it's very difficult just to appreciate that crazy and amazing piece of art without everything else coming along for the ride. So I thought I'd leave that, but that's some of the things that are going into this. And so I'm going to put oil in the middle, crimsony orange. I'm going to try and make a unique colour. I'm going to use dark crimson and put some orange in and maybe not mix it too heavily to create some variation. And we want the inside below the skin. Here we want to see something inside. I'm going to texture it with the knitting needle like I did on my last painting, Contemporary Hellscape 1, which then got the knitting needles with a knitting needle, but in the vertical and horizontal rather than little scratchy marks. And I do that in the middle, and then on the outside, the flesh, and I use my quinacridone magenta to try and create some flesh tones. I'm going to use some whites, and I want to keep some milky whites, like milky white skin going into magentas and bruised tones, bruised bloody tones maybe. And I want it to be beautiful, but I also want it to make you feel maybe a bit uncomfortable as well. So I'm just going to start, that's it. I'll leave it there. I'm going to time lapse it, and maybe I'll just show you at the end what I've got. back. How long have I been painting? About an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And I think I'm just about there for today. So I've filled in all the texture on the inner bit, the wound, the inner, the sub-skin, whatever is going on in there. And then I discovered that if I rubbed the oil paint into this gloss medium, that created really quite a successful fleshy looking tone. Now I'll decide whether I still want to put some magenta, some whites in there. Yeah, I need to think about that. But overall, pretty happy with my session. Now what I'm going to do is I want to check for little peaks that I've left that when they dry are going to poke up too much. But I've got better light over by the hob, so I'll take the painting over there. I'll say bye to you in a second, but let's show you what we've got. I'll take it over there and I'll finesse it a bit more. From here it looks like there's not enough going on down there, but like I say, this is just the first session, so overall I'm pretty happy. Okay, see you another time, Dead Art Studios Paint and Chat.